Hare Krishna. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनः सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य वाचालंबंगम पादमहं वंदे श्री गुरुम दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ओम हरे कृष्ण। So thank you all for joining. So today's session is CC session, Chaitanya Pravaha session, like what we mentioned in our last class. Our last two sessions, which was Saturday, Sunday last week, over the Christmas weekend. So were the summary of the Bhagavad Gita. So thank you for accommodating that over the auspicious tithi of Akshada Ekadashi. So we are continuing back our sessions on Harikatha. So today's session is a continuation of our discussion of the overview of the beautiful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, as chronicled by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So we are continuing to discuss the 10th chapter of Madhya Lila. This is about how the various devotees gathered in Jagannath Puri. Again, since there's a long break, very quickly setting the context, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, after sannyas, came to Puri on the request of his mother. He came with three, four devotees, Nityananda, Damodar, uh, and a couple of others. And he spent a few months. He transformed Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, and then the Lord expressed his desire to tour South India. The Lord went to South India, spent a couple of years touring and delivering the residents of South India, spreading the glories of the holy name. He met various great souls. He met Ramanand Rai, he met Paramananda Puri, he went to Sri Rangam, he spent his time there in the house of Venkata Bhatta. So many beautiful episodes. The meeting with the Kurma Brahman. We discussed all these various pastimes. All the way the Lord went almost close to the east coast, all the way to the southern tip. up to Kanyakumari, and then from Cape Comorin he comes up again. Then he travels towards. He comes upwards a little bit towards the western coast. Then he comes all the way up to Bombay, and then he heads back. He goes back to Vidyanagar, and then he moves backward upwards towards. Eventually, he comes to Puri. So we discussed all those wonderful pastimes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached very extensively. Only 2 years, but he preached because his dose was instant. You have to cultivate a person slowly for many, many years. We are like a small wire with a milliampere current. Lord is like the mains from the generator. Somebody even passes nearby, he'll get a shock. The shock of the ecstatic energy of pure devotional service. So the Lord was transforming individuals simply by his words, by his instructions. He would instantly empower, instantly transform, and that person would transform others. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction was, Amar Adnya Guru hoy tar ei desh. By my instructions, you be a guru and you deliver the world. And what does it mean becoming guru? Bhajo Krishna, bolo Krishna, karo Krishna Shiksha. You worship Krishna, you chant Krishna's name, and you teach others to do the same. It's simple. As long as we are living lives which are dedicated to serving Krishna, chanting his holy names, living pure lives, and the same simple formula we have to give to others. We don't have to complicate. We can all act in the capacity of Guru. We don't have to be appointed to become a Diksha Guru. That if some of us may become in the future, if that's what Krishna's wish, then that's a different issue. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision of Guru is he wants all the Vaishnavas to be Guru. He wants them to be exemplary and to share their good fortune with others. So this is the empowerment which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to everybody. Amar Ajna Guru Hoy. That's how Prabhupada and the Acharyas interpret this. Whoever has come in contact with this message, it is his responsibility, especially those who are Indian bodied, all the more. Bharat Bhumile Hoile Manushya Janma Jar, Janma Sarthak Kari Karaparo. Anyway, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then came back to Puri, and with the help of the king, his accommodation was arranged in the house of Kashi Mishra. So many devotees came and met him. And we heard about how various devotees, as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes back to Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his divine potency, is now arranging, now that he is going to be steady in Puri for the rest of his manifest pastimes, more or less. Small travels here and there, but more or less he's going to be there. The Lord, by his divine potency, is arranging for all his associates who he wants to perform the remaining part of his pastimes, especially the Antya Lila. All those great devotees, he is arranging for them to come to Jagannath Puri. Some of them he already met in South India. Ramanand Rai, he had told him, come, join me. Then Paramananda Puri, come, join me. So they came and we discussed about them. We discussed about the meeting of Bhavananda Rai and the four brothers of Ramanand Rai, how they came, and then Maninath Rai was engaged in Lord Chaitanya's service. We spoke about Paramananda Puri coming, and Lord Chaitanya so graciously, of course, because he's at the position of his guru, he arranged a room for him in the home in the house of Kashi Mishra, arranged servants and everything for him. Lord Chaitanya was so happy. Because who's Paramananda Puri? He's Uddhav incarnate. Then we spoke about Swarup Damodar Goswami, who's an incarnation of Vishakha Sakhi. Sorry, incarnation of Lalita Sakhi. He came, we discussed in detail about him, his character, his position, his exalted nature, how he was a sannyasi, but he just put on the garb just to be humble of a simple brahmachari. He maintained his brahmachari name, Swarup Damodar. He was just waiting for Lord Chaitanya to come back. Then he comes and offers his obeisances at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. He's accepted by him. Very, very learned, very wonderful singer, very, very close confidential associate of Lord Chaitanya. Especially, he was practically serving like the personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya was very happy to accept him back. So all these associates are gathering. So after this happened, as after Swarup Damodar came, it is said, the very next day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting with all the devotees. I'm assuming it is in the house of Kashi Mishra, I'm assuming. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there, all of them were there. And when they would get together, what they would do? Actually, this is not a very difficult question to ask. Krishna has already given the answer in Bhagavad Gita. Tathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti. Let's come together. What is their enjoyment? How do they find satisfaction? Kathayanta, they talk about Krishna. They do kirtan, they do Krishna Katha, and they relish. Because satam prasanga mama virya samvido bhavanti rit karna rasayana katha. If you want to relish Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, becomes more relishable when we do it in the association of devotees who can also relish. The relish becomes greater. Just like in the material world, those who like to weekend go to table, sit with some peanuts and a glass and have a good time. They also want company. They also want company of those who are also intoxicated like them. Then there is fun, more fun. So this is the nature of the world. In the spiritual world also, this principle is true. When we want to relish something, when we are in the company of those who also relish it, then the relish of all the participants becomes greater. So this is a spiritual principle. The same principle is extended in the material world also. So satam prasangam, the association of devotees. Panti rit karna rasayana katha. That's the whole idea we are coming together and discussing, right? Because we are doing this together, there's more relish. Of course, we can do it individually also. But we'll not, I can guarantee you that we may not feel the same relish. Some relish. Of course, there is a relish in studying ourselves also, but there is more relish in discussing and hearing the association of devotees. Anyway, so this was their routine activity. They would come together, Kirtan, Katha. Kirtan, Katha, Prasad. Kirtan, Katha, Prasad. And all other aspects, Prabhupada would say, what is management in ISKCON? ISKCON is ultimately about facilitating to make sure everybody can do these three things nicely. Can do Katha and Kirtan nicely and everything is absorbed in Krishna consciousness. All our big temples, our facility, ultimately are meant to help us absorb our consciousness in hearing and chanting and rendering humble service to the Lord and His devotees. It's as simple as that. And all arrangements, all management are only meant to support this principle. So one should not lose sight of that. Anyway, this is a related story, not the main story. So as they were seated together and discussing Harikatha, at that time, a devotee by the name of Govinda appeared on the scene and he immediately offered his obeisances. And very submissively, he presented himself in front of Lord Chaitanya and he said, he introduced himself, I am the servant of Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri is the guru of Lord Chaitanya. He said, my name is Govinda. And following the orders of my spiritual master, I have come here. Now, just a side note, that in Vaishnav culture, or for that matter, Sanatan Dharma culture, our Vedic culture, when we meet a senior, the etiquette is always to introduce ourselves first. We don't go and ask them, who are you? We say, oh, I am Gaur Chandra Das. I am so and so. May I kindly know about yourself? So that is the proper way. Of course, Govinda was very specifically coming to meet Lord Chaitanya and knew about the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya. So he introduces himself. And then he explains to Lord Chaitanya, he says, "Oh my dear Lord, just before Ishwara Puri departed from this world to attain Krishna Loka, he instructed me that I should go to you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I should render service to you. There's one more god brother of mine, his name is Kashishwara. He is also going to come and join and serve you, oh my dear Lord. But right now he's on a pilgrimage to various holy places. So once he finishes his pilgrimage, he will come also and join me here. And both of us want to serve you. I did not want to wait to tour holy places because as soon as my spiritual master instructed me, I came running here, fulfill the instructions of my spiritual master. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about his spiritual master. And he felt so grateful. He said, "Oh, yes, my spiritual master, he's so affectionate to me, like a son." So actually, it is Srila Ishwara Puri's great mercy that he has sent you here. So as this conversation was going on, Sarvam Bhattacharya asked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he noticed that Govinda did not come from a Brahmana family, he came from a lower caste, a Shudra caste. So he was a bit curious because sannyasis generally have servants who are from Brahmana community. And obviously the reason is not discrimination. The reason is basically simple that if a person is a Brahmana by guna and karma, then he will also have the cleanliness, behavior, sadhana, purity of a Brahmana. Obviously a sannyasi needs an assistant who is situated in Brahmanical principles. It's not so much about this thing. So he was a bit curious, how come Ishwara Puri, who's such a learned, exalted sannyasi, he engaged a Shudra as a servant. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately corrected Sarvam Bhattacharya. Said, just like Krishna is fully independent, his pure devotee Srila Ishwara Puri is also fully independent. They are not under, they are not dependent on the rules and regulations of the scriptures. They are actually fully transcendental. And who Krishna or his pure devotee gives mercy to, the transcendental pure devotee, who they give mercy to, there is no restriction. There is no consideration of caste and creed in the mercy. Don't you know the pastimes of Sri Krishna himself? He never discriminated in giving mercy. Vidura, who was born to a Shudrani, Lord Krishna personally went to his house to have lunch. Why? Because he was attracted by affection of Vidura. Duryodhana ka bhoga na khayo, saga vidurgar khayo. And what did he eat there? Actually, he ate banana skin. Because Vidurani was so overwhelmed with love that she gave him skin and threw the banana. That's a side story. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the Lord is attracted, he is dependent on affection of the devotee. He doesn't go and check background. Oh, he's from Brahmana. Oh, he's Kshatriya. Oh, he's Vaishya. The Lord doesn't consider the material situation of a devotee. If somebody becomes affectionate towards the Lord becomes obliged by the affection of the devotee and the Lord acts independently. The Lord is not bound by any rules, considerations. If he wants to give mercy, he will give. So this is a very important principle Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining this to Sarvam Bhattacharya, because Krishna actually gets pleasure in his heart, not by just worship of awe and reverence. Krishna becomes satisfied millions of times more when somebody worships him with affection. Somebody approaches him with affection, renders service with affection. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Then Krishna becomes hungry to eat. Krishna is not hungry to eat anything. He is hungry for the affection of his devotees. So in that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dismisses the objection or uh, the objectionable query by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then Lord Chaitanya again turned to Govinda and being very pleased to see Govinda, because by seeing Govinda, he was also seeing his spiritual master, because he had served his spiritual master. Very tightly, Lord Chaitanya embraced. And Govinda, of course, Govinda was much younger. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Govinda is a simple brahmachari. Govinda offered obeisances. So this is again another cultural aspect. Huh? A junior doesn't go and embrace the senior. It is not our culture. Huh? The junior always offers obeisances. It is for the senior to pick up the junior and embrace, and that's his choice. So these are just small notes at the bottom. Sometimes we may get excited by seeing a senior and we go and also within embrace, there are different ways a person embraces an equal and a superior. So right now I can't do a demo, so it's okay. Huh? But the general principle is when equals meet, they meet at an equal level by each of their heads above over the other person's shoulder. But when a junior is embraced by a senior, the junior usually keeps his head lower than the head of the senior, typically on his chest. That is the proper etiquette. If you can't imagine, it's okay. One day we'll do demo. So that is proper. So if a spiritual master embraces, we don't embrace him like this. He may embrace like this, but we bow down and he embraces like this with our head on his chest. So that is the right way. Anyway, so the Lord embraced him, but he offered obeisance. Because the devotee, even if a senior exalts the junior doesn't forget his position. So it is the glory of the senior to exalt the junior, and it is the glory of the junior to remember his position. So both are right. Otherwise, there will be Maryada, Vyatikram, and everything gets spoiled. Anyway, so such a wonderful exchange happened, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then had a doubt in his mind. And then he turned to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He said, Govinda said that Ishwarapuri, my guru, instructed him to serve me. But actually, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you know the etiquette. It is not proper for me to accept the servant of my guru to become my servant. Because both of us are disciples of the same guru. How can I accept my god brother as my servant? So this is another lesson in etiquette. You should not accept or engage our god brothers in our service. Of course, in a reciprocal, friendly way, we may serve each other. That's a different thing. But here, he came to say that I am your servant. I want to remain you engaged in the capacity of being your servant. Otherwise, as such, everybody is a servant. Yeah, that's a given. So it is not befitting. But at the same time, my guru has ordered this. So one rule says you should not do this. So these are called dharma sankat. What is the right thing? Two right things. One is from his perspective, his guru has instructed him this, but from my perspective, it is not proper. So what shall I do? So very humbly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is posing this very interesting question to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is very, very learned. He is an incarnation of Brihaspati. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very clear about what the conclusion is. He said the order of the spiritual master is very strong. It cannot be disobeyed. This is the injunction of all the scriptures. There are so many wonderful examples in the scriptures. Parshuram, when he was ordered by his father, who was also his spiritual master, he killed his mother Renuka as if she was his enemy. Lakshman, who was the younger brother of Ramchandra, when he heard about this, that the order of the Guru should not be disobeyed, he immediately engaged in the service of his elder brother and accepted his orders. Conclusion of all scriptures is the Guru's instruction must be obeyed without consideration. The Guru or the Father, one should obey without consideration because there is always good fortune in following the orders. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that. While there are two principles of religion, the higher principle must be accepted. So oftentimes in life we come across apparently conflicting principles. So a mature devotee is able to understand what is the higher principle and what is the lower principle. So for us as sadhakas, the highest principle for us is to Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Kauriya Aikya Arana Kariho Mane Asha. We accept the instructions of the spiritual master as once. And that is the ultimate good fortune for the living entity. So when Sarum Bhattacharya explained like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. Yes, it is true. Normally I wouldn't accept, but my Guru has instructed him. So I should not be an impediment in Govinda following the instructions of his spiritual master. He's also my spiritual master. It's a common instruction. So Ishwar Puri must have thought of something that, he wants him to be engaged in this manner. So as a service to Govinda and as a service to my spiritual master Ishwar Puri, I accept Govinda as my servant. He doesn't say the dialogue like that. I'm just explaining the thought process. So Govinda was welcomed into the association of devotees. One more. So Govinda became a very, very dear servant of Lord Chaitanya. So Govinda, the servant, Sarup Damodar Goswami, the secretary, and all these other close associates. They said when Govinda used to tend, he was the most close to Lord Chaitanya in terms of taking care of the physical needs of Lord Chaitanya. Sarup Damodar Goswami was more like the secretary to manage the dealings, who the Lord is going to meet, his schedule, all this. But the personal service of Lord Chaitanya, arranging water, bath, clothes, this, that, the service of the personal body, the Vapu Seva, Govinda was in charge. There were other devotees. There was a senior Haridas, a junior Haridas who were also beautiful singers. There were also other great musicians like Ramai and Nandai, Chaitanya Charitamrita. They would also stay with Govinda. So Govinda would make sure he was the servant, but he was also the chief servant. He would make sure all other services also get orchestrated. So all of them would stay nearby, either in or near the house of Kashi Mishra, make sure that they are immediately available for the day-to-day services to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it is said, who can estimate the good fortune of Govinda? I mean, what kind of opportunity of service this is? So this kind of fortune is incalculable. So many of them would come, anything to do with the Vapu Seva of the Lord, they would always approach Govinda. And anything to do with any spiritual matters, devotees would approach Swarup. The next day, another devotee, who is also a god brother of Ishwarapuri, just like Paramananda Puri was a god brother of Ishwarapuri, another god brother of Ishwarapuri, whose name was Brahmananda Bharati. So Mukunda Datta, who was one of the very close associates, Nityananda, Mukunda Datta, Damodar Pandit and others, they were in the inner group. So Mukunda Datta informed Lord Chaitanya that Brahmananda Bharati has come to see you. Can I bring him in your presence? Lord Chaitanya said, no, no, he's the god brother of my guru. He's, in the position of my spiritual master. It is not proper for him to come and see me. The right thing is I should go and see him. So these are all again another matter of etiquette. So when we are dealing with a senior, especially a great soul, we don't go, sorry, I mean, we don't ask him to come and meet me. We go and see them. So Lord Chaitanya immediately got up and he, along with his devotees, went out to see Brahmananda Bharati. Brahmananda Bharati was just waiting just outside the entrance. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out and Brahmananda Bharati was standing there, Brahmananda Bharati, very elderly sannyasi. And in those days, of course, he's also initiated into the Bharati, meaning again to the Shankara Sampradaya. And it was customary in those days, some sannyasis would wear, like it is said, deer skin. So he was wearing a deer skin. So Lord Chaitanya noticed, he saw the deer skin. And Lord Chaitanya, when he saw Brahmanand Bharati with the deer skin, he wasn't actually too happy. He didn't say anything, he didn't criticize, but was not approved because he saw that, was the Lord being the Lord in the heart of all living entities, he could see that there is some desire for prestige in the heart of Brahmanand Bharati. So he was, trying to something like show himself as a great personality by, wearing a deer skin. Right? Sometimes even when we become devotees, to show ourselves as great rather than actually becoming pure, we like to show better kurtas, thicker neck beads, bigger chanting bag, bigger chanting beads, by just an external display of this, that we will be recognized as big devotees. So Brahmananda Bharati had some sentiment of false pride. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came out and Brahmananda Bharati was standing straight in front of him. But after noticing his deer skin, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu behaved as if he did not see him only. Started looking around. And he's asking Govinda and all the other devotees, where is Brahmananda Bharati? Where is, I don't see him. Where is he? Brahmananda Bharati standing in front of him and running. Arey, what happened? So Mukund Datta said, oh my lord, here in front of you, this is Brahmananda Bharati. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, he is not Brahmananda Bharati. You must be talking about somebody else. So surely not Brahmananda Bharati. You have no knowledge. Why will Brahmananda Bharati wear a deer skin? I don't believe Brahmananda Bharati will wear it. So, in front of Brahmananda Bharati, he is saying like this. Huh? And Brahmananda Bharati is thinking in his mind, oh, Lord Chaitanya is not approving that I wear this deer skin. Huh? So, of course, even though he's in the position of his guru, the sense that he's a god brother of this guru, of course, Lord Chaitanya didn't directly correct him, but indirectly Lord Chaitanya hinted. Brahmananda Bharati knows what is the real position of Lord Chaitanya. And that is why he has come to take his association and his mercy. But Brahmananda Bharati realized in his heart, oh, Lord Chaitanya is not approving. He is not acknowledging or even acknowledging my presence because he doesn't approve this. So he reflected on it and he said, yes, actually, I am wearing this deer skin only for my prestige. And just by wearing deer skin, am I going to cross over the ocean of material existence? From today onwards, I will never wear the deer skin. This is going on in his mind. He has not said anything. Brahmananda Bharati. As soon as Brahmananda Bharati resolved in his mind that he is not going to wear the deer skin anymore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who as the Paramatma is situated in the heart of Brahmananda Bharati, immediately understood. He did not want to embarrass Brahmananda Bharati. So he told his servants, please bring the robes of a sannyasi. So robes of a sannyasi, simple cloth, saffron cloth was brought and was presented to Brahmananda Bharati, and Brahmananda Bharati very graciously, he gave up his deer skin and accepted the robes of the sannyasi. And as soon as he accepted the robes of a sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him full dandavat. And Brahmananda Bharati glorified Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are the most super excellent example for all devotees to follow. By your behavior, you are instructing. And I am very clear. I don't want to do anything to displease you. Because if I displease you, you will neglect me. And what can be a greater pain than being neglected by you? So I am very afraid of this. I don't want. Hell with this deer skin. I just want to be in your association. Thank you for protecting me. Something to that effect. And then Brahmananda Bharati starts glorifying Lord Chaitanya. He knows Lord Chaitanya is none other than Krishna. And then he glorifies Lord Chaitanya by saying, at the moment in Jagannath Puri, I see that there are two Brahmans who have manifested. One Brahman is Lord Jagannath, who doesn't move. The other Brahman who is moving is you. So Jagannath is known as Daru Brahman. Daru Brahman means the Supreme Lord in the form of a wood. So he doesn't move because he's in the form of a wood. Can move, but he chooses not to move. He's in the form of a wooden deity. But the same Jagannath is also outside the temple and roaming around, moving around, and he is in the form of Lord Chaitanya. So Jagannath is the Archa Vigraha, the worshipable deity. He is not moving. But you, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are moving here and there. Both of you, Chaitanya and Jagannath, are the same. You both are the same Supreme Lord. You both are the master of the material energy. And you are playing these two distinct parts. One moving, one not moving. And both of them are currently present in Jagannath Puri. Haribo. So he starts glorifying something to that effect. Then Lord Chaitanya being very smart. Lord Chaitanya never liked, even though he's the Lord always set the example. He would never like anybody to call him as Krishna. So Krishna set this example. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example is the example of the highest standard. So Lord Chaitanya immediately turned around the argument. He said that actually, to tell you the truth, O Brahmananda Bharati, you are right that there are two Brahmans at Jagannath Puri, but it is now possible because of your presence. And these two Brahmans, see the word Brahman, the way the Lord explains it, Brahman means spiritual. Brahman is used in scriptures to refer to the Supreme Lord, and Brahman can also be used to refer to the Jiva. It depends on the context. If you want to be very, very clear which Brahman, then we have to say Parab Brahman. Parab Brahman means the Supreme Brahman. Then it's more clear. But otherwise, Jiva is also Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the spirit soul. That's it. Yeah. That's spirit soul. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, there are two Brahmans, but he turns it around, you saying, yes, there are two Brahmans. Now that you have come here, yes, I am also moving Brahman, you are also moving Brahman. But we are both Jivas, we are both devotees. Yes, earlier there was only me, now there is you also. And both of these moving Brahmans are dancing around Jagannath, who is the Parab Brahman, who is sitting tightly and not moving. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives it a very different explanation. So Brahmanand Bharati is not very happy with this explanation. because he wants to establish Lord Chaitanya's position as the Supreme Lord. He tells, "Oh, Sarvam Bhattacharya, I need your help. Please mediate in this argument between me and Lord Chaitanya. Am I right or is he right? These two Brahmans, isn't Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya the same? Because he's trying to present it in a different way. Yes, there are two kinds of Brahman. One is a localized Brahman and one is the Supreme Brahman, which is all pervading. But I am in no illusion. I know this Lord Chaitanya, this great personality who took away my pride by taking away my deer skin, is not the localized Jiva Brahman. He is the Supreme Brahman. He is the all pervading Brahman. And I am subordinate to him. How I can be uh, compared to him? And then he starts quoting a few verses from the scriptures from Mahabharata, especially the verses which are related to the Vishnu Sahasranama, Suvarna Varna, Himango. सुवर्ण वर्ण हेमांगो वरांगश्चंदनांगदी संन्यास कृच्छम शांतो निष्ठा शांति परायण. This is a verse in the Mahabharata, which is in the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, which predicts Lord Chaitanya's appearance. And the translation goes like this. And he quotes this to tell that, I am not simply glorifying you as God. You are God because scriptures predict that you are God. This verse translates like this: Suvarna Varna Hemango. This incarnation of the Lord, his bodily hue is golden. It's like molten gold. Every part of his beauty. Varangam is very beautiful bodily limbs. Chandanangadi, his body is covered with sandalwood pulp. He accepts the renounced order, sannyasakrit, and is always peaceful, equipoised. Shamashantaha, Shanti Parayana. He is firmly situated in devotional service. So he quotes this very beautiful verse. And then he tells Sarvam Bhattacharya, you agree with my arguments or not? This is from the scripture. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the Supreme Brahman, is predicting the scriptures. Don't you see this verse that I have quoted and Lord Chaitanya's physical characteristics? Aren't they exactly matching? Golden body, sannyasi, covered with sandalwood pulp, always chanting the holy names, decorated with this beautiful thread which is received from the body of Lord Jagannath's deity. So as soon as, because Sarvam Bhattacharya was also always trying to argue with Lord Chaitanya that you are Krishna, I know you are, and Lord Chaitanya would not agree. As soon as Brahmananda Bharati also made the same proposition, he immediately said, yes, 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 I am with you, I declare, you are victorious. Your argument is very superb. I agree with you that the two Brahmans are Lord Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became suddenly a bit odd, but at the same time, Brahmanand Bharati is in the position of his spiritual master. So very humbly said, I'm just a disciple, you are Guru. In front of the Guru, the disciple always has to accept defeat. The disciple is always defeated in front of the Guru. So this is another principle. Sometimes in front of the Guru will say something. And we may think we are very smart and we try to argue back. That Guru Maharaj, you don't understand, I understand. Please listen from me. How actually it is. So never try to be smart. Prabhupada says the disciple always never tries to be smart in front of the Guru. That doesn't mean one cannot explain and speak in front of the Guru. But one should understand that there may be things that one may not see. But and I've experienced this many times with my own spiritual master. That I couldn't see and then I tried to argue, but the Guru is heavy. You don't understand. Take it from me. This is how it is. So at one point, I was telling something to my spiritual master, and he realized that I was a little stubborn. I wasn't arguing back like big time, but I was trying to explain. So finally, he said, Gaur Chandra, I know you better than you know yourself. Then after that, I kept quiet. What to argue after that? Means you think you know, but I know you better than you know yourself. What I'm telling you about yourself, just accept and do. The disciple is always defeated by the spiritual master. So, in that way, Lord Chaitanya, when he would be put into this situation, rather than just saying, yes, yes, I am Krishna, he would just take a humble position, especially if it was a senior. What can I say? You are Guru. How can I argue against you? So, Brahmananda Bharati immediately counters Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya says, I am defeated, I am disciple. Oh, no, 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 no. You are not defeated because you are a disciple and I am Guru. The real reason you are defeated is because you are the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord is always defeated by the love and affection of his devotee. I am your subordinate servant, and you are accepting defeat at the hand of your devotee. That is your glory. That is another glory of the Supreme Lord. So that is the real reason. Oh Lord, you have been so kind to me. I have been brought up thinking about the Supreme Truth as the impersonal Brahman. But I have become so fortunate to understand the real truth. And now, seeing you, I am fully experiencing Krishna. I can fully experience Krishna by seeing you in front of my eyes. Now, I don't want to do all this Vedantic study. I want to chant the holy name. I want to associate with devotees, be absorbed in Harikatha. And in my heart, I understand that you are Krishna himself, and I am very eager to serve you. Even great devotees like Vilva Mangal Thakur, they were also at one time attracted to the impersonal concept, but then they became mad in love for you and became great devotees. So my condition has also become like that. I have also become transformed. It is all possible by your causeless mercy. Otherwise, how is it possible for a dry impersonalist like me who was absorbed in the monistic tradition and performing yoga to get madly attracted to become like a maid servant of this small blue cunning boy who's always joking with the gopis. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Das Anudas. Lord Chaitanya again smiled and just jokingly said, oh, you have such ecstatic love for Krishna. Therefore, wherever you turn your eyes, you see Krishna. So that's why you're saying, I am Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya was always very careful. He never. Sarum Bhattacharya said, okay, okay, let's settle the matter. Both of you are right. Huh? It is true that actually ecstatic love, without having ecstatic love for Krishna, like what Brahmananda Bharati has, one cannot see Krishna. So, and that mercy that Brahmananda Bharati has received, he has received through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So actually, even though he says both of you are right, actually he's by saying both of you are right, he's also saying that Brahmananda Bharati is saying that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna is also right. Lord Chaitanya protests. He said, what is this, Sarum Bhattacharya? What are you saying? Huh? Vishnu, 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 you are calling me the Supreme Lord. This is blasphemy. So this was generally whenever Lord Chaitanya would be called as Krishna, he would close his ears and say Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. The devotee, no matter how exalted, he never likes himself to be compared or glorified like the Lord. It's actually very painful when somebody tries to say. Anyway, so this very beautiful exchange happened. After that, Lord Chaitanya took Brahmananda Bharati along with him to his residence. So after that time, he also joined the regular entourage. He also started staying in the vicinity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he also became a very regular associate. Then many other devotees are mentioned who also joined. Names such as Ramabhadra Acharya, Bhagwan Acharya, they came and took shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Kashishwar Goswami came. You remember, Kashishwar is the person Govinda had said that he's going to come. He's also a disciple of Ishwarapuri. He's also going to join. So he had completed his touring. He came and offered his respects Lord Chaitanya and became engaged in Lord Chaitanya's service. Kashishwar Pandit's special service was that whenever Lord Chaitanya, every day Lord Chaitanya would go to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. In front of Lord Chaitanya, Kashishwar Pandit would stand and he would make sure that he created the space for Lord Chaitanya to go in front so that crowds of people do not come and throng around him. Especially, he would make sure that nobody will come and touch the Lord, who touch his feet. So he was like, like, I wouldn't want to say bodyguard, but he would make sure nobody disturbs and there is, nobody comes and throngs, something like that. So like this, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, just like rivers flow into the sea, all devotees throughout the country finally came to Jagannath Puri under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being so happy because the Lord also, when he comes to this world, why does he come to this world? Of course, he comes to display his pastimes, but at the end of the day, the Lord is happy only when he's surrounded by his devotees, pure devotees. And that is why when the Lord comes, he brings his devotees with him. So even for his Puri pastimes, he gathered all these. So with this, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami concludes this chapter. He says, I have described this beautiful katha by which all these devotees came, and he gives a very special blessing. So please listen to this carefully. Whoever hears this description, all of you have heard? How many of you are here? There are almost 20 odd. Anyone who hears this description ultimately attains the shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. Guarantee. Okay, so all of you are guaranteed. Of course, how soon that happens now depends on you. But guarantee is there that you will attain the Lord's lotus, shelter of the Lord's lotus. Praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Chaitanya Charitamrita. There. Thus ends the 10th chapter of Madhya Lila, entitled The Lord's Return to Jagannath. Any questions or comments? Yeah, Suresh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One general question. Lord Krishna, like when Dwarka, then Vrindavan, and Mathura, what was he known as, Prabhu? Like he has specific names, right, Prabhu? Like Vasudeva and.
Yeah, so in Mathura, he's known as Vasudeva Krishna.
Okay.
Okay, so in Vrindavan, they'll call him Sham Sundar. He's known by many names: Govinda, Sham Sundar, Gopal. The most popular name of Krishna in Vrindavan is Kana. Vrindavan Krishna is referred to by his close associates as Kana. And Radharani is often referred to by all the close associates in Vrindavan as Rai. This is how the Brajvasis explain what devotees also accept. Kana and Rai. Now, I do not know why exactly like that. I do not know the details, but this is how they refer to each other. Of course, Krishna in Dwarka is Dwarkadish. the Lord of Dwarka, but it's also an expansion of Vasudev. So in Mathura, he's the son of Vasudev, that's why he's Vasudev. In Dwarka, he's Dwarkadhish. So according to his pastimes, he has his different names. But of course, ultimately, it's the same personality, the same one Lord who
So Prabhuji,
manifests different pastimes.
Vasudeva is reading, it's a expansion of from Shankarshana Vasudev comes in. So original form of Lord in which Lila is he there, bro?
Oh, so there is Vasudev Krishna and there is Vasudev Chaturbhuj.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Just like Rama, there are multiple forms of Rama. Balaram is also Rama. Ramchandra is also Rama. Parshuram is also Rama. Different manifestations. So sometimes Vishnu, in Vishnu's names also, Vishnu is also known as Govinda. Is that wrong? No, but that Govinda is in a slightly different understanding. Because even Lord Vishnu gives pleasure to the senses. But Govinda, as the one who gives pleasure to the cows, is most specifically referring to Gopala Krishna.
So Prabhuji, Krishna in Vrindavan exhibits more number of qualities.
Yes, yes. Only Krishna in Vrindavan exhibits the 64 qualities in full.
Okay. Yeah.
Only
It's
Krishna
clear.
in Vrindavan exhibits in full.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So thank you all very much. So I just want to, before you log off, so next weekend, Saturday, we have the Rath Yatra in Kuala Lumpur. So especially for those who are in Kuala Lumpur, please join us physically. We'll be doing a flower petal shower and serve the devotees also with some drinks. So we will set up a stall at Pines Condominium as we usually do. So if any of you want to assist in the seva in any way, please let me know privately, and and together try to please the Lord and His devotees. So the secret to pleasing the Lord is also please the devotees. Sometimes, when we shower petals on the rath, many times, devotees, because there is a rath and there is a procession in front of the rath, start flowering petals as soon as the procession comes, even when the rath is far. Devotees say, oh, wait, Ratha is still there, Ratha is still there. But my purpose is not just to shower petals on the Lord. My purpose is to worship the devotees also. Mat bhakta pujabhyo adhikaha. Jagannath is more happy to see his devotees are worshipped. And so when we worship and honor those who have dedicated their lives to the service of the Lord, and I sincerely do it in that mood, at least so I believe. Only Krishna knows. But, that is the endeavor. I'm just saying this so that, sometimes, why are you? The Lord is still there. Yeah, the Lord will come. I'll shower the Lord also. But, I want to, because the Lord is never, our philosophy is that the Lord is never seen in isolation. The Lord is always seen with Sangopangastra Parshadehi, Yajjai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajanti His. The Lord is seen with his Anga, Upanga, Parshad, associates, his weapons, his limbs. So worshipping Krishna completely includes everything connected and dear to Krishna, which definitely includes his devotees. So I'm just clarifying this in case some of you are wondering why. So this is a very sacred principle that and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has taught that we don't think, oh, he's just, this person is a small devotee, that person is a big devotee, this person is worthy of my veneration, that person, I am so much senior to him. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who's such a Paramhamsa Mahabhagavat from the spiritual world, says, even the most neophyte devotees, I seek their blessings, when he's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So our mood should be that we should try to develop the mood that all the devotees who are sincerely engaged or even making an endeavor to engage in the Lord's service are very special and very dear. And that is true. It's not just an imagination. Actually, when the Lord looks at the devotees, the Lord looks at devotees very differently than the way we look at each other. When I'm saying we, I mean sadhakas. If any of your pure devotees, kindly excuse yourself from my comment. But I'm talking about sadhakas like myself. Otherwise, you will feel offended. Oh, you included me in the list of sadhakas. If I do not know that you are a siddha, then please forgive me. But generally, we try to see, oh, he's this person, he's senior, he's junior, he has this fault, he has that fault, he's like this. And at an external level, all those may be true because we are all at different levels in our own spiritual journeys. But the amazing thing about Krishna is not Yamaraj who's sitting there with accounts. Oh, here comes Gaur Chandra Das. Krishna's vision is very different. Krishna is not Krishna is not there. He has his justice department and all these other things his energies are doing. But he is not looking at us. Us meaning I'm talking about those who are his devotees, who are sincerely trying to serve him. Even with a small capacity, even with little desire to please him, a sincere desire. Krishna looks at them very affectionate. Krishna looks at them very positive. Krishna overlooks and he considers all the devotees very dear to him. So, so worshipping, serving, and pleasing the devotees is a very important part of the worship of Krishna. So just mentioning the sacred principle. So, so anyway, so this kind of opportunity doesn't come always where you can worship the devotees. No devotee will like that if you start showering flowers on them suddenly, start doing. So I take this excuse on the pretext. I want to offer my gratitude and worship both to the Lord and to all the devotees. So if you are in KL, please join, participate in the Rath Yatra, in the Rath Yatra, do whatever way you can. So thank you very much. So Rath Yatra is on Saturday itself, right? I'm not wrong. So we will not be able to have our class on Saturday evening, 9 p.m. But if there is any adjustment, I will let you all know. Because by 9 the Ratha procession would have ended, but there will still be a Pandal program. Most of us will be busy there. So there's a possibility we may not have. We will see what we can do about that. Okay. So thank you all very much. Jantara Srimad Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada. We go. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.